All right, welcome. This is part 2 of a 3-part series of our itinerary for Utah and Arizona. So recommendations on where to go and driving distance in between and just what to do. All right, so day 1, just a quick recap. We talked about Las Vegas. Day 2 was Zion National Park, and day 3 was ATV riding at a Warner Valley. So that was, I think that was one of the highlights. Definitely, I recommend that you go crazy and just rent an ATV and just have fun. All right, so let's go on to day 4. Day 4, we went to Bryce Canyon National Park, and this was one of my favorite parks. So beautiful, so stunning. The rock is orange and yellow, and just the rock is just stunning. Utah has a lot of plateaus and a lot of mountains and a lot of canyons, and so you'll see a lot of red and a lot of brown. But once you get into Bryce, it's a little bit different. It's orange and bright yellows and bright orange and bright reds, and there are long pillar-like formations everywhere, and they're called hoodoos. And so that was I think that was one of the prettiest parks that we went to. I love Bryce. And so at Bryce they have kid-friendly areas. So again, go to the visitor center, pick up your junior ranger journal book for the kids so that they can be busy when you're driving to and fro places. Bryce was about an hour and a half from Kanab, where our hotel was. So it's about an hour and a half drive. So in the booklet, they recommend places to go with children and what to do and all that kind of stuff. And so there is a little challenge that if you walk, I believe it's about 3 miles or so. If you walk a minimum of 3 miles, or if you find these specific spots at Bryce, they will give you I hiked the hoodoos challenge. So that is a challenge that they want to encourage the kids to go into nature and to just explore. And so I hiked the hoodoos challenge. That was exciting. The kids got that. At Bryce, there is Sunrise Point and Sunset Point. In between, there is a walking trail where you can, if you don't want to go deep down into the walking trails, you can just do that and enjoy the rim of the canyon, of the Bryce Canyon, and that's enough. But at Sunrise and Sunset, there are trails that go down. We did go down the Navajo Loop, and the kids were nervous also, but I was like, okay, well, this one's a little bit wider and safer, so we went down the Navajo Loop, got some pictures down there, and so that was very exciting. So yeah, that's Bryce for you. Anything else about Bryce? No. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, I wanted to add one more thing. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know if this is true or not, but they said that some of the Native American tribes believe that the hoodoos are actually people that were tricked by the wolf, or who they called the trickster, and they were turned into rock formation. So I'm going to send my kids on a research experiment to see if, just to get some more background on Bryce, because who knows, maybe they were a group of people that were turned into rock by God. And so who knows? We know stories about, nations and tribes being turned into things by God. And so we know that in Islam. So I don't know about the story. So it's interesting. But other than that, the formations are beautiful. So hopefully it wasn't who knows? Let's see. All right, pack snacks here. Again, there are very few places to get lunch and snacks. So make sure you go to the grocery store in Kanab or on your way to Utah. My friend recommended Harmon's. We didn't end up going there. We just went to, I think it was called Honeybees in Utah, and got some groceries there, and that kept us fulfilled for the next couple days. All right, so that was our day 4, Bryce Canyon. So definitely recommend Bryce Canyon. It's only an hour and a half up into Utah, so plan for that in terms of driving distance. On our way back, coming back from Bryce, near our hotel, there was Moqui Caves. So Moqui Caves is a natural cave in Kanab that has like different 4 openings, and you kind of have to hike up and get into the caves. And so the kids and us, we went up there, and that was scary also, but fun. So yeah, we hiked into Mokwe Caves, and that's what we did on day 4. All right, now on to day 5. This was our heavy driving day. This is when we are going to be driving towards the Grand Canyon now. So now we are going to be leaving Utah into Grand Canyon. Along the way, though, we made a couple stops, and so it was a long driving day. The first stop that we made so when we drove out of Kanab, we went into Orderville. Orderville is where there was a slot canyon. So Antelope Canyon is the famous one that everyone sees on Instagram, YouTube, and all that stuff. So Antelope Canyon was closed because it is owned by the Navajo Nation, and so they I think due to COVID they don't want to. It's very narrow, and people are going to be coming close to each other, so they closed that. They don't want COVID to spread. So we were in the area, and we really wanted to do a slot canyon. So we looked up different slot canyons in the area, and I think there's a lot. So there is one called Peekaboo Canyon in Utah also. With that though, you need an ATV to get there, or a very heavy 4x4 to get there. And so we didn't do that one. So we ended up driving to Orderville, where they had a Red Hollow Slot Canyon. It's a very small one. It's family friendly, and it's perfect for young kids. So we drove there, and it's a little bit of a hike to get into the slot canyon, and then for sure it was stunning. Slot canyons are just beautiful. My goodness, how they're formed with in between canyons, waterways form them, and just the rock, and just standing in between them, it's just stunning. So I would definitely recommend a slot canyon. Red Hollow Slot Canyon, family friendly. You can drive there and then walk a little bit to get to it, so you don't need a 4x4 or a ATV for that one. So that's what we did on day 5 in the morning. So am I on my right days now? So yeah, that's what we did on day 5 in the morning. The Slot Canyon, that was maybe an hour detour or whatever. And then after that, we drove to Page, Arizona. Page, Arizona is where Antelope Canyon is, although it is closed, but it's also where Horseshoe Bend is, the famous Horseshoe Bend that everyone, takes their pictures in front of, and I'm falling in. We didn't do any of that crazy stuff with kids. So yeah. Horseshoe Bend, $10 parking to enter Horseshoe Bend. We took our lunch with us, and we enjoyed a very nice lunch at Horseshoe Bend, enjoying the beautiful water. The water is really beautiful, green and dark blue, and all mixed together, and it's just a very nice photo picture spot. For sure. So yeah, and then after that we started driving out. So that was at Page, is about an hour from Utah. And then from Page down to Las Vegas was about a 3.5 hour drive. Yeah, it was about a 3.5 hour drive. So it is a very heavy driving day because you are moving from, Utah to Arizona, but we took stops along the way. So it was fun. So it was a nice drive. Again, you have your booklets to keep your kids busy, so please pick those up. Those are very helpful. All right, on to so then we reached Grand Canyon. We got a hotel in the Grand Canyon called Yavpai Lodge. Highly recommend. It was in the Grand Canyon. It was easy to get to sunrise and sunset, and just get to our hotel anytime we hiked and we wanted to use the bathroom or anything. It's in the Grand Canyon. Driving out of the Grand Canyon into the local the city that's right outside, I think it's called Tusayan or Tusayan. I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. It's right outside of the Grand Canyon. You do have to leave the park, enter the park, leave the park, enter the park. So be careful of that. And each of these national parks have their park fees and all that stuff. So I'm not sure how it works. I just didn't want to keep going in and out because it is a bit of a drive to get in and out of these areas. So I wanted our hotel to be inside the Grand Canyon. We got a pretty good deal because the prices are low right now. So Yavpai Lodge, that's where we stayed, and it was very nice. I would recommend it. We had it was nice. All right, so this is day 5. We got to the Grand Canyon. You know, it was late, so we were able to see the sunset, and then we got into our hotel. All right, and then we just took it easy, you know, ate dinner, and got some groceries in the city of Flagstaff, right outside of, so this was about an hour out. So we had, on our way going into Arizona, we stopped at Flagstaff Safeway, got some groceries and some, you know, microwavable meals. And I'll be sharing some tips later on if you're not near any restaurants and what kind of things you can do to make meals and microwave eggs and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be sharing that later on of how to manage food when with young children and you're not near not near restaurants and things like that. So yeah, okay, I'll be going into our next video for our Grand Canyon itinerary and what we did there and the exciting stuff that we did there. So far we've done Utah, we've done Arizona, Page, Arizona, and now we're moving into the Grand Canyon area. So the next video is for people who just want to see the Grand Canyon, and that's it. Stay tuned for that video.